Ayukui. Hello, my name is GoodShield Aguilar. I'm Lakota and Yaqui, and I'm here on the Hoopa Reservation. We call this place Sweet Valley Farm. Hoopa is located on the Trinity River, right where Trinity County and Humboldt County meet. We're basically in a spot where a straw bale house was built. We built this about 4 years ago, something like that. And you know, we had plans of having this place kind of be like a model community, like a sustainable community. Basically, we wanted to see what we could do with using as little resources as possible. You know, straw bale being a really good way of building. Also having solar panels, and you know, just everything could basically tread lightly on this earth. And anyway, yeah, this is Sweet Valley Farm in Hoopa, and it's a really beautiful day out here. Yeah, I'd like to show you some of the things that straw bale building entails. You know, there's basically the straw bales, 4 feet by 2 feet. You know, so the walls are usually really thick, really good insulation. Some people put stucco on the outside around the straw bales, but we're learning now that actually it traps moisture, which stucco isn't really good. You know, it's a cement product, which, you know, part of green building is you want to get away from things like concrete, lumbered, you know, timber that's been highly processed. You know, because there's ways to build where you don't have to cut down so many trees or use so many toxic materials. So on this particular straw bale, we used earth plaster. So the earth plaster on this particular building, you know, you can knock on it and it feels like rock. I mean, it basically dries like really hard rock. But this plaster, I think in general, the thickness is probably about 2.5 inches. So it's really, really just thick. You know, you consider the thickness of the walls. Straw bales are about 2 feet thick, and you add another couple inches. So, you know, you have this much insulation in between the outside and the inside. And the cool thing about earth plaster as well is, you know, basically it's clay, so you could sculpt it any way you want. You could do artsy things with it. You can make custom windows. It's pretty much limitless, you know. It's all depends on the creativity of people putting it together. But yeah, here I sculpted bear claw. It's kind of, I guess, my insignia. You do other things like make round windows, which I did up on the top there. Traditionally, you know, we're on the Hoopa Reservation, but the Yurok Reservation isn't too far from here. The Yuroks usually have round windows, or round doorways. So I put a round window just to kind of represent that doorway. And yeah, it's right now it's supposed to be like 90 degrees today. But if you go into this building, it'll be cool all day. And yeah, like I said, it was built like 3 years ago. So the person who lives here, a good friend of mine, she's kind of seen summer, winter, about 3 or 4 of them so far. And the results have been pretty consistent with its efficiency and all that. But yeah, let's go inside and take a look, see what it looks like inside. Like I was saying, straw bale walls are about 2 feet thick, so you know, I was able to put the straw bale bench in here, and it just feels really solid. And I have asthma, so I'm actually ironically allergic to straw. During the construction of this, I had to be careful about inhaling straw because you do kind of, you know, shape it while you're moving along to kind of get this roundness. But once it's covered, like, you know, it doesn't bother you really. You don't really breathe in the straw really, and the air quality is just really, really good in here. There's not really, you know, a lot of harsh chemicals that you're usually exposed to in conventional houses. You know, most houses have insulation with formaldehyde, arsenic, all these gnarly chemicals, and you know, the fiberglass kind of holds it together. So that's all just like this toxic. But straw bale walls actually do breathe. There is a natural transfer of humidity going on, you know, as the seasons change. So people who have really researched straw bale construction have found that actually, you know, the earth plaster allows that natural transfer of moisture from inside to outside and vice versa. So, but also on top of that, there is no molding, you know, because if you get mold in your walls, it's a really bad thing. It could potentially like take your whole wall out. And other people who have been researching straw bale construction, you know, aside from stucco, they've also found that rebar, which originally when this kind of construction was being implemented, they would use rebar to kind of reinforce. But during that humidity exchange, they found that homes with rebar actually aren't good, because as that humidity exchange is happening, rebar wants to hold on to that moisture, so condensation forms around the rebar, which can cause mold as well. So in this particular structure, what we use instead of rebar is basically we use willow sticks. So we kind of use those like nails, you know, probably about, I don't know, enough to go through a straw bale. So roughly 18 to 20 inches, somewhere around there. And then all the straw bales are basically nailed in with willows. But yeah, so basically these walls are straw, willow, kind of tying them together, some baling twine, and then the earth plaster, and then yeah, these walls are just really solid. Aside from being really cool in the summertime, in the wintertime it doesn't take much to heat this place at all. This little stove here, you know, you only burn like 1 or 2 logs in the wintertime when it's really cold, and these walls just really hold the heat in. I've been told that sometimes you could have one good fire and it'll hold the heat in here for 2 days on a cold winter day. Yeah, this was a lot of fun putting in. You know, this was kind of like the heart of this building. You know, I think a lot of traditional native people, you know, the fire definitely represents home. And I know the plank houses that the Yurok used to live in, they were supposed to have a fire going all the time because that represented life. You know, that home was alive. But since we live in conventional days, you know, we have to be really resourceful with how much we burn. So these buildings are really efficient. You know, these days you don't want to burn so much wood. But yeah, let's take a look up these stairs here. Yeah, when I was building this building, very first thing I did was put up the 4 corners, and then I built this loft area to kind of support the 4 corners. And I would sleep up here, and as I was working here, and then I'd sleep here at night, I would kind of visualize like where things should be. And anyway, the staircase kind of came to me. You know, originally there was going to be a ladder, which I think eventually would have been kind of hard to deal with, especially if you're moving stuff upstairs and downstairs. But we were able to get this staircase in. You know, it's kind of narrow, but I think it serves its purpose.